pronunciation of the sound A in French with FrenchSpanishOnline.com. We have actually two sounds for the letter A in French. The most common that you have in most words in French is this sound that we write this way in phonetic. For example, pat, so the sound A, pat, A, or mal, laver. So here we have leg for animal, bad, and to wash. So all these A have the same pronunciation: A, pat, mal, laver. And again, we write it this way in phonetics, so it's useful in a dictionary. For example, when you don't know how to pronounce a French word, you may have this useful tip near the definition. The second A is slightly different. For example, here we have pat, pat, which means pastry or pasta. So it's not the same A. Here we have pat. The same thing for ga and sha. And in phonetic, we write it this way. It's kind of different actually, and again, in a dictionary can be useful. So, is there a rule to explain this difference between these two A in French? We are going to see actually 3 rules to explain the pronunciation of this second A. Let's see the first one. There is a circumflex accent on the letter A. This way it's easy to know how to pronounce it. Tâche for task, tâche, lâche for coward, lâche, pat, you know now, and râteau, for example, to say a rake in your garden. Tâche, lâche, râteau, pat, the same letter A. Okay? Written this way in phonetic. Let's take some comparison now between these two words. Tâche, with the meaning of task, and tâche, with the meaning of stain. So these two different words have two different pronunciations. Here we say tâche with the sound A, and here we say tâche with the sound R. Two different A. The same thing for pat and pat. Pat, pat. The second rule is when the sound A in a word is isolated at the end of the word. Let's take some example. Chat for cat. So here we don't pronounce the letter T. So at the end of the word, we have the sound A, chat. And in this case, we use the second A in French, chat. The same thing for va, the verb to go. He goes, il va. Ga, because in this word we don't pronounce the letter R nor the letter S, so the pronunciation is the second A, because the sound A is isolated at the end of the word. We say ga. The same thing for pas, we don't pronounce the S. Pas for step or the negative form. Again, we say pas. Let's take some example and comparison. We have the word chat, for example. Here we understand our rule because we have the sound A at the end of the word, so it's the second A in French. But let's take the feminine form of chat. We say une chatte. And in this case, because we pronounce the end of the word chatte, as you can hear the T, the A is not the same. Here is chat and here is chat. A, A. It's the same thing for the baby cat, un chaton, the same pronunciation with chat, chat, chaton, the same A. Again, here is chat. The third rule may come from the origin of the word, and it may explain actually the pronunciation why we use the second A and not the most common A in French. For example, the verb passer. We say passer with the second A, written this way in phonetic. But chasser, to hunt, is different. We use this A. Chasser, passer. Why? So here, if we refer to the origin of the word, we may understand the difference of pronunciation. Passer comes from the word pas, a step, pas. And because the sound A is isolated at the end of the word, so you know that now we say pas with this kind of A. And for this reason, we keep the pronunciation of the word to get the verb, and we say pas, passer. The same thing for chasser. Chasser comes from chasse, hunting, chasse, with this A, because it's not the end, it's not isolated at the end of the word. So we keep the same pronunciation for the verb and we say chasser. It may be a reason. So sometimes if you see a word, for example, that seems an exception to the rule, if you refer to the origin, you may understand better why we have this sound A in French. Okay? So revise these 3 rules to know exactly how to pronounce the letter A in French. Let's see now some other pronunciation when the letter A is combined with other letter. For example, A, I, or AE here, like in nevus. The pronunciation here is E, nevus. When we have the letter A and the letter E, actually it's a foreign word, and we keep the pronunciation of the foreign word with the French accent. For example, maestro. So here we say A-E, maestro. Here we say E, like maison. O, like O to say hi. The sound here is a bit different. We say in the first name leur. As you can see, the sound O is different. Here we say O, and here we say A. O, leur. We will see the difference in the lesson about the letter O. More A and the letter Y. We say A, like pays for country, or payer, to pay. A, pays, payer. A. Here, A and M, if after we have a vowel, we will say am. For example, Amérique. But if after am we have a consonant, we will say en. Quand. Amérique, quand. The same thing for A and N. If we have a vowel after, like manoir for mano, manoir, and AN with the sound en when we say, for example, dans, because we have a consonant after dans to say in. Okay? So that's some examples how to pronounce the letter A in French. C'est fini! Thank you for watching these slides with me. See you at FrenchSpanishOnline.com/magazine if you want to read the whole script of this lesson, and see you next time for a new lesson. Au revoir!